When I was 17, I was diagnosed with kidney failure, and I grew up in Calgary, so that was in Calgary, and then I went on dialysis for 3 years, peritoneal dialysis, and then when I was 20, I received a kidney transplant from a woman that had passed away, and she donated, kidneys, liver, heart, lung, everything. So that was how I received my first transplant in 1987. I've done very well over the last 25 years, although one of the problems is that I had to have my hips replaced because of the prednisone is one of the anti-rejection drugs, and in some people it causes, bone damage. So my kidney has slowly been deteriorating over the years, and in January 2011, Dr. Landsberg told me that it was time to find another transplant, and given that I'm O blood group, and having a second transplant is much more difficult to match because you have a high antibody load. So it's trying to find someone who's O and also matches your profile of antibodies, antigens. So he knew it would be difficult, so I think he was giving me enough time. At first I thought that perhaps it was too soon, but as it turned out, it took me all this time to have it work out. When Dr. Landsberg said I needed another kidney, my first thought was I didn't want to ask anybody, because receiving a kidney from a person that's passed away is emotionally much easier because, they made that choice when they were alive and they're gone, and obviously their family supports it, so I really didn't emotionally have an issue with receiving it from someone who passed away. But knowing that my, really only hope was to get a kidney from someone living, because it's about a 10-year wait for an O to receive one from a person who passes away at this time. So that wasn't an option. So my fear was, what about that person? I mean, what's going to happen to them? Or, I'm not sure that I want to emotionally go down that path to take that from them, because it's very hard to think about, possibilities, what could happen to their life, what would they go through. It would have been easier for me if it was Joe, obviously, right? If he were the one donating, it would have been a little bit easier, just because he's in it with me. He's kind of stuck with me anyway. But so emotionally, it was very hard to know that I had to get a living donor, and my brother-in-law stepped forward immediately, which was also hard for me because he's my brother-in-law, and I thought, wow, does he really want to do this for me?
He's understating the process so much; it's unbelievable. It is an extreme roller coaster ride. Because look at it from two perspectives. Let's look at it from physical first. She's been through dialysis, and if you've ever seen or been around dialysis, it's not a way to live. You're basically barely hanging on. Tubes in your body, clearing your bloodstream, so you can basically function but not feel well. It's not a life. So she knows that's her alternative, which isn't life. Remember, she's got 3 young teenage daughters that need her at home, so there's a tremendous sense of responsibility and that maternal instinct. So she's worried about the kids. Then the operation itself isn't really a cakewalk. It's 3 to 4 hours, and the recovery period is pretty tough. So it's a major surgery. So there's the physical element. That's the easy part. Now let's talk about the emotional element. The emotional element, you asked the right question earlier. That's the tough part, because you worry on so many levels. You worry, what if I don't make it? There's a chance she goes into surgery, doesn't make it, and then leaves behind 4 kids and an extended family and everything else. So it's back to that mother worrying, okay? There's the brother-in-law. You worry about, even if it's successful, will he have the quality of life? He's sacrificed more than just a kidney. Has he sacrificed the rest of his life? And he's a father with 2 children. So you worry about that element. And so, and at the end of it, the fact that it looks like it's all worked out. Remember, we're only at 5.5, 6 weeks now. It's still a journey to make sure it doesn't reject and everything else. But when you look back and reflect, it's amazing. You think the most selfless thing that her brother-in-law did, I don't know how you put it in words. Humbling is the word I used. I'm just humbled by someone who would do that selfless act, not a blood relative. Just blows you away, and it's fundamentally changed her life. Fundamentally.
What they're doing here at St. Paul's is remarkable. There's something different here, and I don't know if it's just the renal program or what, or the doctors that run it, but there's something really special about this group of surgeons and nephrologists and nurses and support staff. They really all work together so incredibly well and support one another, and even the stay in the hospital was a unique experience too. The nurses on 6B, and the support is amazing. It's just a unique program here. I don't know what they're doing right, but whatever they're doing should be copied by other centers, because there's something extraordinary going on here.